So welcome back, everyone. My next guest is a newbie with me. I've never had him on my show before. I'm welcoming in with me Bernard Zappo, and he is the president of 3 Delta Consulting. Welcome to the show. You know, I have to say, you have been on Fox National News a lot, and you've got a lot of experience, interesting experience. Tell us a little bit about yourself and, you know, what you do and a little bit about your story.
Thanks, Carol. Well, I spent the majority of my professional career as a federal agent. I was a special agent for 25 years fighting violent crime and terrorism. Um, and so that's really the basis. And there were some life-changing events in that occupation, quite obviously, one of which was working mass casualty events, active shooter scenes, where I actually walked in and saw where people that were just going about their business, living their life, women, children, infants were murdered, not doing anything other than being the victim of a sociopath. And that was profoundly changing, even in the face of many years of seeing homicide scenes and narcotics violence scenes and those kind of things. But this was something different. And it has set in motion a passion for people to be protected, and that there's certain things that we could do to survive. And that's what we are completely about at 3 Delta Consulting.
Okay, now your website is 3deltaconsulting.com. It's the number 3, 3deltaconsulting.com. You're on LinkedIn, you're on YouTube, and you do free consultations, and you work nationwide.
Yes, if we can duplicate ourselves, I have a number of associates out there. Anybody that comes from 3 Delta Consulting is going to be the top of their game. If we need somebody in a financial investigation, it's somebody that has a significant depth at the federal level of doing financial investigations or fraud or human resource investigations. But our workplace violence active shooter training is something I'm really promoting right now, that I want employers to call me. I mean, our targeted audience for this are small employers. Here in Arizona, I will come out there. It's about a 2-hour seminar. And basically, I am giving them, or my associates, we are giving them the seeds of life, the seeds of survival. It's not intrusive in the business. It'll be highly effective. I leave with a certification that I'll provide to the employer, to the business owner, that all these employees have been trained and certified. So unfortunately, in the event that it happens, they have some documentation of that. And going forward, I will always come back and freshen up as they bring in new people. And then also, it potentially lowers their liability insurance.
Well, the best thing for people to do is go up on the website, because not only are you going to be able to see everything about them, you can call them from there, you can talk to them from there, you've got an email, I'm sure, and that's the best thing to do. Go up on the website and check him out. He's been on Fox National News with this a lot, and right now, I mean, I know we all know there has been a lot of active shootings, a lot, and there's a good reason to do these kinds of things, and we're going to talk about that in a second. 3, the number 3, deltaconsulting.com. He does free consultations. This is a 2-hour seminar that at any size, as a matter of fact, you even kind of stress that at the smaller the business, even the more so, correct?
That's correct, and it's effective. And statistically, there's no place that's immune from these type of attacks. It could be a place of worship, a school, a manufacturing place, a place of education. No one is there. There's no demographic that is immune from it.
A post office, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
You know, it happens everywhere. The movie
everywhere.
theater, we know this. So you work nationwide. The number 3, deltaconsulting.com. So why do you think this is happening? So why is it so prevalent? Are people just nuts or what?
Unfortunately, we have a cultural shift in the United States. There is some discussion about the replacement of a higher power or belief for our faith and ethos and how we behave, to more of a self-obsessed, self-aggrandizement culture that constantly seeks adoration. And I mean, it's not my place to give attribution to social media or anything that's causation, but it's a definite change. It's definitely increasing, and it's something we have to be prepared for.
Only businesses, or do you go also to churches? Do you go to schools and things like that as well?
Yes, any place.
So here's what I love about my show. It's all that information that people are getting right now. If you know somebody, maybe you work for a church, or you know someone there, please tell them about this. We want to make sure, and I said a church, it doesn't matter where it is, a place of worship. Schools, right now, we know the kids are going back, and we have them even going back into class, some of them right now.
Yep.
My daughter's one of them. So Also, we want to make sure that the small businesses, not just the big business, but those as well, are all making sure that we take care of ourselves. It's all about just safety, right?
That's correct, that's correct. And we provide, we have other traditional security services, threat assessments, security assessments.
You
We
should
conduct-
see the guy, he's huge.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
conduct investigations of all types. We can make some significant recommendations at the best cost value. We don't sell equipment and cameras, although we can find value for those kind of things. But to really find the maximum amount, the quickest amount of efficiency and safety for wherever your place is and however you're doing it. Also, we do leadership consulting because we have the way of really doing a forensic dig on, say, for example, morale issues. We work with your HR or your board of directors to help identify significant issues in a very confidential way, so somebody who has ownership or leadership capacity can make decisions quickly to get them back on track.
Go up on the website and check him out. That's what he wants you to do, and then you can communicate with him from there. It's the number 3, the 3deltaconsulting.com. He does free consultations for people. He's nationwide. You can check him out at LinkedIn and YouTube as well. These 2-hour seminars are perfect for people to make sure that you're taken care of. Is it required for people to do things like this?
In some states it's required. For example, California requires, and actually,
I understand why.
yeah, and even in Arizona, for example, under OSHA Part 1, it's a requirement for an employer to provide a safe workplace. And so there has been some places cited after a event like this, like say a domestic violence shooting or an active shooter event, where there was no training or emergency response plan for the employers. So the employees had no idea what to do. And we provide that in a very simple and effective way to give them their bodies a physiological decision to know what to do to run, hide, fight, for example, and some of these things. And it's documented. So although it's not required, there is some regulatory liability on every employer if they don't have an emergency response plan.
You also give him a certificate at the end.
That's correct. So I'm a certified protection professional through As Is International, and I will write a certification listing out all the employees that attended, and we will update that as new employees come on, and we need to go back and refresh the training.
You also mentioned that by doing this, it could lower their insurance.
Yeah, there's a potential where if you provide this to their liability carrier, they're seeing that the Part 1, again, of OSHA is potentially met with this training. There's other things for safe workplace beyond, obviously, these type of threats. We will work with an HR if a firm has an HR. Some small companies, they don't really, they outsource their HR. But we work so we don't do anything contrary and that we add to it. We can also recommend policy changes and things they can document so they have regulatory compliance, but more importantly, it's safe for their people and themselves.
You know, we're live on Facebook, and I'm thinking for all the people that are listening and watching this right now too, anyone, please, if it's you or someone that you know, this is about protecting ourselves. And right now it's huge. We really are doing that. Not just because we've had obviously shootings everywhere, unfortunately, but also look in the world that we're living in right now. People are angry, and you never know when they're going to explode.
Well, civil unrest is obviously going across the country at the moment. There's a number of political reasons and ideations for this type of activity, but regardless, you could be trapped at your place. Your place is subject to risk because there's an assumption that public safety is going to come in and protect those things. But obviously, if police services are overrun, that doesn't exist. We can help with that as well.
Their website, he wants you to go up on the website. You can check him out there. It's the number 3, deltaconsulting.com. He does free consultations. He works nationwide. You can also check him out at LinkedIn and on YouTube. You do a lot of speaking events as well. I want to talk about those real quickly.
I've had a very interesting life in addition to my career. It was 45 years ago in September of 1975 when my brother and I witnessed the attempted assassination of President Ford in San Francisco. It sort of set in motion my life's activities and those kind of things. But I did undercover work for about 8 years. I've been the victim of violent crime myself, which is not unusual for somebody who's in law enforcement for such a long period of time. And I do a lot of speaking for groups and whatever purpose might help you. And so I enjoy doing those things, and we're available for that, for sure.
Also, let's recap on that and the leadership part that you also do with that. What a great person to have teach a leadership. Go ahead.
So in my career, I basically went from first line supervisor all the way up to the executive ranks. And I can tell you that leadership is a product of failure, and learning the lessons from that. So I'm giving those lessons back of things that worked and things that didn't work, and the imperative of having a leadership ethic at all times. Bernard Zapor, Z-A-P-O-R, is how you'll find me on YouTube and LinkedIn, and that's the pronunciation of my name. Just and so the leadership thing.
Zapper? I'm sorry, Zapor.
I think he said Zapo, which
I'm not sure.
I think my friends are going to haze me nonstop because
Oh
you
my
said that.
God. I didn't even realize I did that.
You just gave them
Because
tremendous ammunition,
that's in your line of work.
Yeah.
That's not good.
and they're going to use it.
Okay, Bernard Zapor is what it is, and it's Z-A-P-O-R. You can check him out on LinkedIn and on YouTube. You can go up on his website. That's where he wants you to check him out. It is the number 3, deltaconsulting.com.